Okay, so thanks so much for hopping on tonight to our, can you hear me okay? Good. Okay. To our team call. I can't figure out how to use these. So Rachel and Heather are going to be hosting tonight. They are going to be talking about Power Hour, and I like to call them succesties or success partners, push partners, whatever you want to call them. So, Jesus, I hate my life right now. I'm just going to unplug this. Okay. They were like in the living room watching TV. So I was like, oh my God, that's it. So basically they paired up Team Cup. It was myself, the two of them, Kayla, and another coach. And so we were Team Cup. We did live events together. I pushed them out of their comfort zone. I made them, go live. And like, I always tell the story and it cracks me up. But Rachel was like, guys, I have hives right now, like during her live video. And it was the freaking funniest thing ever. And she got hives like 3 times every time I made her do a live event. It was so funny. But honestly, like it just is so fun to go through these things and get yourself out of your comfort zone, because it really pushed them. And then they became kind of success partners together. They get up and do a power hour together every morning at like freaking 5 o'clock in the morning because they're crazy. They work full time. So they go to work. They have to get it, their power hour in early. They're both moms. So they have just, both pushed to diamond together. They've just, kind of really pushed each other. And honestly, I definitely think a good chunk of their success was because they were so tight-knit and they were, rooting each other on, because you're always going to have bad days, but you're usually not going to have bad days on the same time as another person. So when you're having a bad day, that person's there to motivate you, because this business you get no's a lot. And, you can feel like a failure. You can feel like, oh, my business is growing slower than this person. Or, you can compare yourself and doubt yourself. And it's just so important to surround yourself with other people that, believe in you or are going to take you, back down, talk you off the ledge when you're feeling inadequate. So I just can't tell you enough how important success partners, push partners, successes, whatever you want to call them, are. And so I have really been trying to pair up people. And I was talking to Veronica today, and she was like, I really just want somebody to be kind of on the same page as me. And that's so true, is, it's kind of hard for you to be like, oh, well, this person has 4 kids and I am a stay-at-home mom, So it's really, you have the same struggles and things. So, if you do not have a success partner, please let us know and we can try to find you somebody. But and don't think like the first person isn't going to be like your match. It's not like you're married to this person and you're stuck for life. Like sometimes people don't jive together, or, sometimes like you get paired up with somebody, you work great, and then like one person falls off and they're like, maybe this business isn't for me. That can happen too. So don't think that like you're a failure or you're not meant to have a success partner if the first one doesn't work. I went through like 3 or 4 probably. And now I am on the hunt for another one. So, hopefully you guys can find one that you really click with, and you want to find somebody else that's kind of on the same page, and they'll talk about that. So without further ado, Rachel and Heather have just been amazing. They have just been so motivating. They have, they can tell you a little about their story, but Rachel is going to be quitting her job next month, right? Yeah. And she'll be staying home full time. So I'm so excited for her. And Heather's goal is to not go back next year? Or, yeah. So really, really cool. Heather's a teacher. So, really cool stuff that they've been able to achieve. And, I don't like to lead with, hey, do you want to quit your job? Join my team, because it's a slow building business. It's not something that's going to take off and you're going to be like, oh, match my income, bye, so I don't want you to think that. I just want you to have fun with it. I want you to focus on yourself. I want you to change as many lives as possible, and, just consider a blessing to make an extra income by helping people, and not focus like, well, this sucks. I've been doing this for 4 months and I can't quit my job. Like, you need to go do something else, because that's not what this is for. So, but I will tell you from experience, I've been a coach now, it'll be 4 years next month. And I have, literally almost quadrupled what I was making full-time at my career job before this. So, I mean, it's just crazy to me. Every year my income grows because of the volume that you get when you grow your team. So just it's a numbers game. Just keep going. A lot of people think, oh, my coach is not doing anything. I had coaches that sat there for 2 years before they even decided to, work the business, and then they became rock stars. So you just have to be patient with this business and, lead with your heart and, have fun with it. So I'll pass it over to you guys. I'm going to mute myself because we've got baby meltdown central over here.
Can everybody hear me okay? Everybody hear me? All right, thank you, April. Heather and I are both honored to be co-hosting this call. April asked us to host and talk about success partners, which I think have obviously been the game changer in both of our businesses. I think we can agree on. It's just the best feeling to have somebody who has your back. Everybody who's on here has been a new coach at one point or is a new coach now. And when you get thrown into this, I mean, you get added to all these different groups and people are messaging you and you're supposed to, post this new coach post and, do your challenge group and do this and do that. And for me, like, I was a new mom. I had a 4-week-old at home. It was just so overwhelming. Like, I knew I wanted to work on myself and I knew I wanted to grow this business because eventually I did want to stay home with my son, but I just had no idea where to start. And obviously your coach is there for you, but you kind of need somebody who, just like April said, is on your level. So it's amazing to start with somebody and have the success partner who not only has a lot in common with you and has common interests, because I feel like that's really important, but who also is in the same stage of their business with you. So it was a lot easier rather than always looking on Google or, looking on BB Links, which, trust me, Heather and I have done plenty of times, but we bounced ideas off each other. We met, just like April said, we were on Team Cup, I think in August last year. So it was Heather, I, April, and 2 other coaches. And we were in this Team Cup and we had a group chat going and, we were talking, not specifically to each other, but just to everyone in the group. And one day I just kept hearing everybody talk about these power hours and I had no idea what they were. So I went in BU's team page and I just posted that I was awake and I wanted to do a power hour if anybody was available. And it was like 6:30 in the morning or something and nobody answered me. And then Heather commented underneath it and was like, well, I'll do one with you. And I'm like, great, maybe she can finally explain to me what this is. And we actually both got on and she didn't know either. So we just sat there and talked for like over an hour. She was on vacation. She was actually in her camper and had no service. So we kept getting disconnected, but it was just like, it was like I found my soulmate. Like, it was just like a connection right away. And I just knew that we were going to be lifelong friends. And she has been the biggest blessing on not only my business, but on my life, because I talk to her about everything. She's became my best friend. So it is so important to have that. And it's not, like I said, we wake up, we decided, I don't even know how long it's been, probably 3-4 months that we've been waking up, would you say? Heather is an hour, 4 months. Heather's an hour actually behind me. So I wake up at 5:30. I just started waking up at 4:30, but normally I wake up at 5:30 every morning, which means that Heather is waking up at 4:30 in the morning to get on our call. So she was sacrificing a lot more than me when we started. And that's kind of what pushed me to start waking up at 4:30 and get my workout in before we get our power hour in. So that's a huge example of how we just push each other to our limits. Like, I would have never hit diamond had it not been for Heather. I would have never stayed consistent on my power hours had it not been for Heather. And I mean, there are mornings that we'll wake up and we just need to talk. Like, we won't sit there and do our power hour. We'll vent to each other. We'll vent about this. We'll vent about our home life. And you need that because, like April said, it's butterflies. It is hard starting out in this business. You're going to work really hard to not see a lot of success in the beginning. And that's, normal. But for anybody else who's thinking that they're going to start this business, I mean, you come in here and you have absolutely no idea. So you definitely need to have an open mind. But on those days where I was feeling down, where I was doubting the business or, wondering if I could move on anymore, I'm not sleeping because of Alex, Heather was always there. Like, she was always there to support me, to lift me up. And without her, I couldn't even tell you if I would be here today. It's the best feeling to know that somebody has your back, like I've said a million times. And I don't know how I ever made it without her for the past 27 years. So it really is. They become your best friend. They're like your family. So I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to go through a lot of success partners. I know plenty of people who have. We just kind of right away. But I suggest if you don't have one, posting in BU's team page, and we can even put a post in there, and just introduce yourself. Just tell, how old you are, where you live, how many kids you have if you're a full-time worker. You want to have the same interests. Like Heather and I, we both work. I had just become a mom. So honestly, she was kind of like my crutch that I leaned on because she, has 2 kids and she's been through it. So anytime I was having a hard time, she would give me advice. Like I just looked to her as my role model, and it's absolutely amazing. The other thing about the business is when you start joining these challenge groups, I mean, if you are a full-time worker, even if you're just a mom, you're busy all the time. I shouldn't say just a mom because that is a full-time job in its own. But so working these challenge groups, and you're having to post every day because whether you're putting your sweaty selfies on, whether you're telling people, giving them clean eating recipes, or whether you're having them post their daily food, you're running this challenge group and things come up in life. I mean, I've had, funerals, I've gotten called into work. Heather's had six kids. I almost said 6 kids. So we kind of have each other's backs where, I'll text her in the morning and be like, you know what, I can't make my post. Is there any way you can? Or she'll say, I wasn't able to go live today. Is there any way that you can do it? Like we just supported each other through everything. And this is like, we are 9 months into our business. And this is going to be the first month that we are running challenge groups by ourselves because we did our team calls together, like new coach calls. Like that stuff can be scary because you get on these calls with these new coaches and sometimes you still feel like a new coach yourself. So you're like, okay, how am I going to, talk to them about the business and do this when I've only been a coach for, 3 months, I think we signed our first coach, 4 months. So having both of us there to kind of feed off each other, I mean, it's just all around the best thing. You do sure that if you guys are going to do a power hour that you actually do it. It is absolutely okay to get off track. We do all the time. But that is the only thing I can say. Sometimes it can be a distraction because I could sit there and talk to Heather for hours and hours and never do anything for work. So we actually just had this talk yesterday and I was just like, listen, I'm starting on April 24th will be my first day home full time as a coach. I need to start doing this. Like I need to start making sure that every single day I'm taking steps in the right direction to grow my income so, my family can have financial freedom. Like that's why I'm doing this. I want to bring my husband home from work. He's always so stressed out. He leaves to go out of town. I want so much in this business and I am so eager to grow my business that, that's the kind of energy and fire that Heather and I, we get off of each other. So we kind of just had this talk that, listen, we're going to start setting our timers. Like we're going to make sure that we, 10 minutes, we're going to do our invites. The most 3 important things I can tell you is definitely invites, follow up, and adding to your network. So those are the 3 things I want to focus on every single day. And I know we'll get it done because that's just how we are. Like we'll get off track again, I'm sure, but it has truly, I feel like I'm just babbling now, but I cannot say enough good things about having her in my life and just the friendship from it. I mean, and you get that from everybody. You get that, you become part of this team and it's just like a support system of people that you're not used to having who have your back. And it's not just her, it's everybody in the team page who, if you ask them for anything, like they would give you the shirt off their back. Like it's just amazing being a part of this community. And specifically having one person that you can, do your power hours with, bounce ideas off of, have in challenge groups or have for your coach calls or whatever it is you need. It's a huge blessing. So that's pretty much how we got started. And I think Heather is going to talk to you guys about our power hour and what we should be doing every morning.
Okay, hey guys. Everybody hear me okay? Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on top of kind of what Rachel had said, that yes, your success partner, your success date, which is, I've never heard that phrase before until April posted it today. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. That's my new favorite thing. She's my success. Because it's so true. I mean, you really do become exceedingly close to your success partner, and that's when you know you have found a success partner for life. And as April said, you may not find that right from the get-go, but once you do, you're gonna know, and you guys will be success days. And I can't wait to see like how far we go in this together, because it's already been incredible. So about our community and our team group, like what Rachel had said, like it's true. Every single person in here in our group, and we are a serious community. Like you can count on every single one of us and who have your back and to support you and to help you with anything you want. And any kind of questions you think, posting it in the page, you're going to get people to support you or to help you or to answer your questions, which is just huge. That is like, you may feel overwhelmed in the beginning, and there's so much going on, and there's, like this group and this group and this project and this goal to set, or this goal to reach. But just knowing that you have this whole this whole group of people who truly care about you and your success and your partnership. That's really, really big and great. But then once you find your success partner, it's that community times like 100, because you have this like super tight bond with this person, and you're reaching goals together, and you're striving to hit certain goals. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, was setting your goals together with your success partner. So once you do have a success partner, how important it is to talk to them specifically what your goals are in this business, both short term and long term. So Rachel and I would meet, and we'd say, we want to hit this by this time, and we want to make sure that this many people's lives by this month. And we had goals set for when we wanted to reach certain promotions and diamond. And it's really important to share that with your success partner. Can push you and encourage you and ask what you need to get there. And it's so important to have somebody that's like constantly pushing you towards your goals. And something that Rachel did for me, and I hadn't like written before, but now that she has said it, it was huge for me, was to write them out and like post them around. And I remember like the first day we had talked about it, she literally did it as we were doing our power hour. She'd like, all right, and she wrote it out on a post-it, like I got right on her computer. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like, we need to do this. We need to do this about everything. So ever since then, it's like, okay, I'm gonna put it on my mirror in my bathroom. I'm gonna put it on my laptop. I'm gonna put it on like the wallpaper of my phone, like, constantly be setting those goals, telling this person or these people, whoever it is that's going to be your partner or your partners in this, and tell them these goals. And before you get your success partner, you want to do that just on our team page, and we can encourage you. But it's just so important to set those goals, small and big, your short-term and your long-term goals. So once you have your success partner, that's huge for them to be able to help push you to get to those points. And the other thing I really want to talk about was tracking. So once you are in your power hour working with someone, well, whether you're working with someone or not as a success partner, even if you're doing your power hour on your own, the importance of tracking it. If you guys do not have your power trackers printed out yet, there's one that April has in the files there, but I really like this one. If you guys can see, it's got kind of everything listed out, and I really like this one. Rachel just showed me the one that she's using, and I like that one too. I'm going to try that one for next week. But it's so important to track, and I need to get better about this. I used to be like so good about it, and I've kind of fallen off, but I'm getting back into tracking everything, because it's so easy to, especially if you're talking with your success partner, to get carried away in a conversation about, even if it's about Beachbody or about your coaching. You're not necessarily getting your actual power hour in. So if you like sit down and have this tracker in front of you, it really will keep you on track, and it kind of is listed out with how much time you spend on each thing. 5 minutes on here, 10 minutes on here. So it's really, really, really important to get those trackers printed out. I like on Sunday night to print out my trackers for the week, so I'm ready to start on Monday. And something I was just on my team call from my team I was on last night, they were talking about how it's just not convenient to have, a big notebook or, sheets of paper. And so we kind of came up with, if you buy yourself like a smaller like planner or a smaller notebook that can kind of be organized, if you can track, you know, I think that April had posted something similar too, how she was tracking on her, like in like some sort of smaller notebook. But there's just like really good, like, I mean, you can just keep this around and you can take it in your car bag or wherever with you. I like to have mine in the car, like for lines. Like today I was in like a line for the car wash for like 25 minutes. It was perfect to, you know, knock out some invites. And it's just really nice to have something that's portable and easy to have with me all the time. So that's like an easy way to track your business. But yeah, get it however you can track and however you can keep track of what it is that you're doing. And then you'll be able to go back and see who you've contacted. And you can't always count on having Facebook Messenger to know who it is that you've contacted. And you really just need to have it written out, and whether you put that on a paper tracker or in your notebook. So talk about was your setting goals and then your tracking is to get that in your power hour. Does anybody have any questions, or I haven't checked the chat? Let's see if anybody has any questions in there.
Who in here has a success partner? Is there anybody? Okay.
So maybe for those of you who do not, that are kind of newer in here, maybe we can have you guys post in videos. And,
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, and it's just, I remember when we did that like back in the very beginning, right? Yeah, she had us kind of list out like, yeah, things that we were, you know, what did you do, April? What did you ask for?
I would say I asked for like where you live just for fun to see, and then kind of a little about you, what you do, if you're a mom, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really important. Like, you know, for me, when I first started, I could work as much as I wanted. I wasn't a mom. You know, it was just me and Matt. Like, and so I remember I had a couple coaches. They're like, I just can't relate to that because, and like, you know, Tanner and Sarah, they didn't have any kids either. And so like we were doing these team calls and these trainings and stuff. And like, I had so many moms, they're like, I can't relate to that because I can't go to Starbucks and like just unplug for 4 hours, you know, stuff like that. So I think it's just so important to be with somebody that's kind of in the same place as you, because you don't want to look at that person that you're supposed to be a success partner with and compare yourself and be like, okay, well, this sucks. They're so far ahead of me and I'm like not. Like, okay, that person doesn't have kids and you have 4. Like, you know, so I do think that it's really important to find somebody that's the same place in life.
Yeah, agree.
So
don't
yeah.
Don't base it on age, because Rachel and I are 10 years apart, and that is
yeah.
Age is just a number.
Yep.
I agree. So I love this. What I could hear. I'm so sorry. She literally has not stopped crying so time. So
poor thing.
But does anybody have any questions? Okay. So yeah, if Rachel or Heather want to start a post and just kind of ask them, hey, if you, and I've done this a couple times, and I just kind of tell people like, match yourself up, because I'm sorry, but I don't have time to be like, you pick you and you pick you. So if you do it, fine, but follow through and kind of look through and find something, you know, with other people. And I would say maybe a little bit about like passions and hobbies that you have too. Like Veronica was asking me, like, do you have any other single moms? Because that's a huge, like, you know, thing that you need to have in common, because you can't just be like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to have my husband watch the baby for an hour while I do this. It's so much more that you have to be on that same page. So, yeah, if Heather or Rachel, if you want to start that post, and then we can kind of work, if there's a couple of us kind of working to pair up people, that should be easier. So,
yeah.
But yay! I'm so excited for you guys, and I'm so excited that you guys did this, got out of your comfort zone. Any hives today, Rach? You didn't?
No, I'm good. I haven't got those like the last 4 times, but maybe if I go live again, I probably will.
You're so funny. Okay, so I will upload this to YouTube a little later. So thank you, ladies, so much, and thank you guys so much for hopping on. I love all the babies everywhere.
I know, it's the best.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.